Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive.
Yeah, it's great to be back.
So today we're looking at something that really underpins how we connect and operate in pretty much every area of life.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all about speaking specifically how to bring that extra level of polish and real confidence to the way you express yourself.
Right. And, we're thinking about those crucial moments that can really make a difference.
Yeah, at work, in meetings, even just casual conversations.
Exactly. And the goal here is to help you make a really strong, impactful impression every time you speak.
So let's jump right in and start with something we all do every single day.
Okay.
Greetings, those first few words you say when you interact with someone.
Right. They really set the tone, don't they?
Absolutely. It's like the opening chord of a song.
I like that analogy.
It just sets the stage for everything that follows.
And there's a real difference between a casual hey or what's up
Yeah.
and a more considered good morning, good afternoon, or even a simple hello, how are you today?
Oh, for sure.
Especially in a professional setting, choosing those more formal greetings just signals respect right from the start.
It really elevates your presence, I think.
And it also suggests you're approaching the interaction with intention.
Yeah, like you're taking it seriously.
Exactly.
And it's not just about the words themselves, is it?
No, it's not.
It extends to how you address people.
For sure.
Consistently using titles and last names, Mr. M's, Dr.
Right.
Unless you've specifically been invited to be less formal, it just speaks volumes about your professional etiquette.
It does, and it's a simple way to show respect and maintain appropriate boundaries, especially in initial encounters.
Yeah, particularly when you're dealing with someone in a more senior position or in a formal setting.
Definitely.
Now, once you've established that initial connection, the next step is to really get your message across effectively.
Right.
And one of those powerful ways to do that is through conciseness.
Conciseness. Yeah.
Getting straight to the point.
It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
But it actually makes you sound so much more confident.
Because
think about it. Someone who rambles on and on can come across as uncertain.
Oh, absolutely.
Like they don't really have a grasp of what they're trying to say.
Yeah, and I think part of it is that conciseness signals mastery.
Right.
When you can express an idea in a few well-chosen words, it suggests that you understand it deeply.
And that you don't need all those extra words to fill in the gaps.
Exactly. And it also shows respect for the listener's time.
Oh, that's a good point.
It implies that you value their attention and you're not going to waste it.
We actually came across some really good examples of this in our research.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of saying, in the event that it rains, we will postpone the meeting.
Right.
You could simply say, if it rains, we'll postpone the meeting.
Much better.
Same meaning, but so much stronger, right?
It is, isn't it?
And here's another one. For the purpose of improving our customer service, we are launching a new training program.
Okay.
Much more concise way to say that would be,
I think I know where you're going with this.
to improve our customer service, we're launching a new training program.
Perfect.
It's just cutting out all that unnecessary fluff.
Exactly. And it makes your message so much more impactful.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And here's one more. Due to the fact that she was late, the meeting started without her.
Okay.
Now, that's a mouthful, isn't it?
It is.
The more streamlined version would be, because she was late, the meeting started without her.
So much clearer.
Much clearer, crisper, more professional.
And great speakers are often masters of this?
They are. They really know how to use their words economically.
Yeah, to make every word count.
Now let's move on to something that can really undermine even the most well-crafted message.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Filler words.
Well, filler words, yeah.
Those little sounds and phrases that creep into our speech.
Sort of, kind of.
Exactly, and they can really make you sound hesitant and uncertain.
They can, even if you're completely confident in what you're saying.
It's true. And what's interesting is that many of us are completely unaware of how often we use them.
Oh, yeah, we're so used to hearing them.
It's an ingrained habit.
Yeah, for sure.
And while an occasional filler word might not derail an entire conversation, a constant stream of them can be incredibly distracting.
It's like static on a radio signal, isn't it?
It is.
It just interferes with the message.
So one really effective way to tackle this
Yeah.
is to become more conscious of when you're using filler words.
Right.
Really pay attention to your speech patterns.
Awareness is key.
It is.
And, sometimes a simple word swap can make a big difference.
Oh, absolutely.
Instead of saying, I kind of think this idea might work,
Yeah.
you could say, I believe this idea will work.
Much stronger, right?
Much stronger. It conveys the same thought, but with so much more conviction.
And another really effective technique, and this might sound surprising, is to simply pause.
pause.
Yeah, instead of instinctively reaching for an or a like,
Yeah.
just embrace that little bit of silence.
It can be really powerful, can it?
It gives you a moment to gather your thoughts, and it makes you sound more thoughtful and in control.
And a well-placed pause can also add emphasis.
It can.
You know, it can give your listener time to process what you've just said.
And it's not just the obvious fillers, is it?
No, you're right.
They're also what some people call side particles.
Side particles.
Words like basically, technically, actually.
Right.
And often they don't actually add any real meaning to your sentences.
They just kind of clutter things up.
Like, basically, we need to finish the report by Friday.
Yeah.
Just say, we need to finish the report by Friday.
Exactly. Why add the extra word when it doesn't contribute anything?
Now let's talk about the power of your words.
Okay.
Specifically, using strong, assertive language.
Right.
This can really make a difference in how you're perceived.
How so?
Well, it's about projecting certainty and conviction in what you're communicating.
Okay.
And I think we're naturally drawn to people who speak with assurance.
We are. We tend to trust and be influenced by them.
And when you use assertive language, it signals that you believe in what you're saying.
Right.
And that conviction can be contagious.
It can, whereas hesitant language can make your audience question your message.
Even if the idea itself is sound.
Exactly. It's all about how you present it.
We came across some really interesting examples of this.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Instead of saying, I think this is a good idea,
Okay.
you could say, I believe this is a great idea.
Oh, I like that much better.
It's just a subtle shift,
Yeah.
but it makes a big difference.
It does. The believe and the great just adds so much more conviction and enthusiasm.
Here's another one. I was given an opportunity.
Okay.
Could be replaced with, I seized the opportunity.
Oh, that's good.
It just implies so much more agency, doesn't
It does. It suggests you're proactive and in control.
And here's another one that I really like. Instead of, maybe we could try this approach.
Yeah.
How about let's move forward with this approach?
That's much more decisive.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it shows leadership.
It does.
Mhm.
And think about how often we say, does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
You know, while we're usually just trying to make sure the other person understands,
Of course.
it can actually come across as a bit uncertain.
Right, like you're not confident in your own explanation.
Exactly. So a more assertive but equally polite alternative would be,
Let me guess. Do you have any questions?
you got it.
Nailed it.
And one final example, instead of ending with, I hope this helps,
Okay.
try, I'm confident this will help.
Oh, that's much more powerful.
It shows that you really believe in the value of what you're offering.
It does. And, all these small tweaks to your vocabulary can really add up.
They can.
They create a much more polished and persuasive communication style.
Absolutely. And it's not about being aggressive. It's about being clear and confident.
Right.
Now let's move on to something that a lot of us do without even realizing it.
Okay. What's the
Using unnecessary disclaimers.
disclaimers? Oh, you mean like those little phrases we throw in before we make a statement?
Exactly. Almost like we're apologizing in advance for what we're about to say.
Yeah. Why do we do that?
I think it's often rooted in a fear of being wrong or a desire to appear humble.
Right.
But phrases like, this might sound silly, but, or you've probably already thought of this, but can actually weaken your message.
Do they make you sound less confident in your own ideas?
For example, instead of saying, I'm not sure if this is a good idea, but maybe we could try,
Okay.
you could simply say, I suggest we try,
Much better.
right? You're just owning your suggestion.
And it lets the idea stand on its own merits.
Exactly. And here's another one. This may be a dumb question, but
Oh, yeah. I've definitely heard that one before.
a more confident way to phrase that would be, can you clarify this for me?
It's simple and direct.
It is. And it shows that you're willing to learn.
Without sounding like you're not intelligent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the key takeaway here is, if you believe in what you're saying,
Yeah.
don't apologize for it.
Don't downplay it.
Let your ideas be heard.
Um,
Now let's switch gears a bit and talk about feedback.
Feedback.
Okay.
It's a crucial part of professional life, isn't it?
It is. We all need feedback to grow and develop.
But how you deliver feedback can make all the difference.
Absolutely. It could be motivating or demotivating depending on how it's phrased.
Exactly. So it's about finding that balance between being critical and being constructive.
So instead of saying something like, your work isn't good,
Okay.
you could say, I think this could be improved by focusing on,
Right. Give them some specific direction.
and instead of, you did this wrong,
Yeah.
try, I have a suggestion that might make this even better.
It's just a more collaborative and less confrontational approach.
And it's more likely to be well received.
Absolutely. And one really effective technique is to start with a positive comment.
Before you offer any criticism.
Exactly. So, for instance, you could say, I really appreciate the effort you put into this report. And one way we can make it even stronger is
That's a
by
great approach.
it helps the person feel valued and more open to suggestions. It does. And ultimately, the goal of feedback should always be to encourage growth.
And to help people improve.
Exactly.
Now let's look the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
How you ask questions.
Right.
Because the way you phrase your questions can also impact how you're perceived.
It can, if your questions are vague or unstructured, it can make you sound unprepared.
Or like you're not really paying attention.
So instead of saying, I don't get it, try, excuse me, may I ask?
Much more professional.
And instead of, can you explain that again?
Yeah.
How about, I was wondering if you could clarify.
It just shows more respect for the speaker and the topic.
And when you need a more detailed explanation, instead of, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Could you elaborate on that?
It encourages the speaker to provide more specific information.
And it shows that you're actively listening.
Which is so important for effective communication.
It is.
Now, finally, let's talk about how you end your conversations.
Those final impressions.
Yeah. Because an abrupt or rushed farewell can really undermine all the effort you've put in.
So instead of just saying, okay, bye, consider something like, thank you for your time and valuable insights.
Oh, that's much better.
Or I appreciate the opportunity to discuss this with you.
They just sound more thoughtful and respectful.
They do. And if there are any next steps or follow-up actions, be sure to articulate them clearly.
So instead of I'll follow up,
Yeah.
be specific, like I'll send you an update by Friday.
Exactly. It shows accountability and attention to detail.
And it's always a good idea to invite further communication.
Do it professionally.
So instead of talk later,
Right.
try, please feel free to reach out if you have any further questions.
That's perfect. It keeps the lines of communication open.
So to wrap up, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From greetings to feedback to asking questions to ending conversations.
All those little things that can make a big difference.
And the key takeaway for our listeners is that these are all actionable strategies.
Things you can start implementing right away.
Absolutely. We encourage you to focus on one or two of these techniques in your next conversation.
And really pay attention to the impact they have.
Because small changes can lead to big results.
They can. They really can.
So what aspect resonated most with you today?
That's a tough one.
It is, isn't it?
There's so much good stuff here.
There is.
I think for me, it's the power of assertive language.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's really made me think about how I phrase things.
How about you? What resonated most with you?
Well, I think for me, it's the importance of eliminating filler words.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
It's something I'm definitely going to be more mindful of from now on.
Me too, and hopefully our listeners will be too.
And you know, the great thing is that with practice, these techniques become second nature.
They do. You just start doing them automatically.
And that's when you really see the transformation in your communication confidence.
And your overall professional presence.
Exactly.
So keep practicing, keep refining those skills, and you'll be amazed at the results.
It's an ongoing journey, but it's so worth it.
It is so. Until next time, keep diving deeper.
We'll see you then.
Bye for now.
Bye.